Welcome back and on to another corporate conversation. Then Ramkrishna Forgings is a steady quarter from them. Volumes have increased sequentially and on a year-on-year basis as well. The company has also received a significant order inflow amounting to over 1,500 crore rupees. We have Naresh Jalan, who is the managing director of the company, who is joining us to discuss the quarter gone by as well as the road ahead for the company. Mr. Jalan, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in. You had given a margin guidance earlier for FY25 to be around 23%. For the first half, you currently stand at 21.7%. Do you think you're confident you would manage to achieve this guidance in the second half of the year?
Yes, I think good afternoon. We are very confident of maintaining our margins going forward.
And what would contribute to that, sir?
I think with the kind of volume growth which are coming and with the economic of scales and all our assets performing, I think the acquisitions, if you see the quarter gone by, mainly our acquisitions have had lower margins. RKFL on a standalone basis did 22.8%, somewhere closer to 23% margin only. But our acquisitions have had a lower margin, but I think our acquisitions have started doing well. And this quarter onwards, we will see higher margins from our acquisitions coming in.
Right. Hi, Mr. Jalan. Good day, and thanks a lot for joining in. What about your volume growth? I think you were guiding for mid-teens. Could you tell us on a consolidated basis, what is the volume growth you're looking at? And break it up for us between the export market and the domestic market.
I think for the full year, we have guided for a 15 to 20% volume growth. And I think we are sticking to 15% volume growth for the full year. I think we stick by that guidance. And both in terms of exports and domestic, we are doing well. I think domestic market will do much better in coming quarters. So it should be a premix of 60-40. 60% would come from the domestic market and 40% coming from exports.
Mr. Jalan, you just mentioned you're sticking to 15% instead of 15 to 20. So would it be fair to assume that it will be on the lower end of the guidance for the volume growth?
No, in terms of volume, it may go up further more than 15. But overall, in terms of revenue, it may not, because of the steel price softening, we may see the lower end of in terms of our revenue.
All right. So margins around the 23% odd mark. Revenue growth is likely to be 15%. The volume growth will be higher because realizations could be softer. Are we getting that correct?
Yes. Yes, you're getting it correct.
Tell us a little bit more about this LOA for manufacturing and supplying of forged wheels for Indian Railways. I think the total project cost is closer around 2,000 crores. The operations begin, I believe, from next fiscal. So the total investment, how are you going to fund that? And what will the asset turn and margins be on this particular investment?
So we are funding this through debt and equity. Both our joint venture partners and we have invested close to 40% as equity and 60% is debt we are taking on in the company. And we are expecting productions to start by December 25 onwards. And last quarter, we should see significant production coming in from here. And we are looking at an asset turn of 1.5 or 1.8 around in this overall, coming in close to around FY28 from this asset.
Mr. Jalan, I'll get to the debt picture in just a bit, but I just wanted to go back to the volumes bit. They have increased year on year as well as on a sequential basis, but realizations have dropped on both parameters. Could you explain that? And also, do you see realizations improving going into the second half?
Realization mainly, if 3% plus has gone down, only because of the raw material prices. 4%, there is a decline in steel pricing globally, and that has impacted the realization. So I think steel prices going forward also, we are seeing soft market in steel. So it will be continued. I think we don't see any increase in realization due to raw material increase. We are, while the value add portion, we are increasing and we are confident with the value add increasing, we'll somewhat be able to cover up this realization. But still, I think the realization will be on the lower side because of the steel pricing.
I'll go back to the debt bit. Mr. Jalan, you just mentioned that you are taking on some debt for this order that you have received. How much is the current debt on your books and by when do you expect to bring it down to sustainable levels?
No, we as Ramkrishna Forgings, we have a debt absolutely on a sustainable level, close to around less than one-time EBITDA, that which we had forecasted, and that is what we are going to maintain. The new debt which is coming on will be on the joint venture company directly. It is not going to be on the RKFL side. It is going to be RKTR balance sheet. And RKFL is funding equity on its portion of 51% holding. And accordingly, the Titagarh is funding 49%, and balance is coming as debt into that company.
All right, Mr. Jalan, thank you so much for sparing time and taking us through the quarter gone by. Wish you good luck for the second half of FY25 as well. There was a management there of Ramkrishna Forgings. The stock near the lowest point of the day, 2% lower, is down almost 13% in the last 1 month. Most of that fall has come in the last 7 days itself.
Yeah, Hormaz, I just want to take a look at some of these pharma names. There suddenly appears there's a big uptake out there. Pull up the intraday chart of Lupin. The stock has spiked to the high point of there. Just want to do a quick check out there. Abbott as well has moved up. So I think we should get that stock as well. And Laurus Labs defying gravity as always. Hormaz, that's the trend. Last few quarters, numbers miss. But the street believes the next quarter will be better. In fact, we're talking about markets being under pressure. Laurus Labs posted its numbers. I think it's up closer around 8.5–9%. So, what a stock.
The street loves to hear the 4 magical words, right? The worst is over.
The worst is over.
They always hear that and then they get excited about it. But Laurus Labs nearing levels of almost 500 now. Second straight day of gains post its earnings. The Nifty Pharma Index has surged to the high point of the day. Time for a short break. We get you more on the markets and specific stocks on the other side.
Your nomination.
We're going to win Arizona. We're going to defeat Kamala Harris.
It's the election verdict the world is watching. Will Donald Trump reclaim the White House and become the oldest president to be sworn in?
How will this US election impact global trade and inflation?
Will Kamala Harris make history, becoming the first woman president of the United States of America?
How will the next US president deal with geopolitical volatility? What next for the India-US relationship, the most defining partnership of the 21st century? What's CNBC-TV18 for the best newsmakers and the sharpest analysis?
We bring you all the action live right here on CNBC-TV18.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to CNBC TV 18. Make sure you follow us and stay updated on all our social media platforms.